Tell me, have you ever met someone who sees too much? The kind of mind that can dissect your motives before you speak. The person who remains calm when others break, who seems to know what you'll do before even you do. You fear them, don't you? Not because they are stronger, but because they understand. In this lesson, I will show you what makes such intelligence terrifying and why those who possess it are both cursed and powerful. Stay until the end, for I will teach you how to awaken this level of perception and how to survive it. There is a level of intelligence that does not shine. It haunts. It is not the genius who shouts his ideas or displays his knowledge for applause. It is the quiet observer, the one who watches, who listens, who notices everything that others miss. And that is where the curse begins. Most people believe intelligence is a blessing. They imagine it as light, guiding, uplifting, and freeing. But those who truly see, those who possess the mind that pierces through illusion, understand that it's not light at all. It's fire. And once you have seen with that kind of clarity, you can never unsee. You burn away the comfort that ignorance once gave you. The ordinary man lives in a soft fog. He believes the world is honest, that people mean what they say, that kindness always hides pure intent. He walks through life thinking he understands others because they smile when he smiles. But the one who sees too much knows better. He sees the motive behind the kindness, the calculation beneath the compliment. He detects the hunger in the eyes that pretend to care, and he cannot be fooled. That is why he stands apart, never fully belonging, never fully trusting. You begin to notice how most conversations are performances. You see how people speak, not to reveal truth, but to protect themselves, to gain approval, to manipulate outcomes. You notice that every argument is more about ego than logic. Every confession has an agenda. Every expression of love carries some demand. The highly perceptive mind catches it all. The twitch of a lip when someone lies, the small delay before a forced laugh, the shift in tone when the truth stings. And this constant awareness is both power and punishment. You wish you didn't notice, but your mind doesn't give you the choice. You begin to understand how exhausting it is to be aware, to see the weakness in those who pretend to be strong, to see the fear in those who act brave, to see the self-interest in every noble action. You start realizing that most people are driven by insecurity, envy, and desire, not principle. And then comes the loneliness. Because once you see through everyone's motives, who can you truly connect with? When you know that even kindness hides manipulation, even loyalty hides fear, even love hides need, trust becomes impossible. The curse of seeing too much is that it strips away your illusions, and illusions are what make life bearable for most. You no longer see friends, you see alliances. You no longer see romance, you see strategy. You no longer see honesty, you see performance. And you begin to envy the ignorant, the ones who still believe in sincerity, who still think the world rewards goodness, who can love without analyzing why they love. Their peace becomes something you can never have again. You become detached, not out of arrogance, but out of understanding. You realize that to survive among humans, you must play along. You nod, you smile, you pretend not to notice the small betrayals, because confronting them serves no purpose. It only exposes how different you are. So, you learn the art of silence. You become the observer behind the mask, the mind that watches without emotion. While others play their games of pride and deceit, you study them like a strategist studying the battlefield. You know who will betray whom. You know who will crumble under pressure. You know who will wear the mask of virtue until it no longer benefits them. This is the first transformation, the moment when awareness becomes weaponized. The more you see, the more control you gain. But the more control you gain, the more alone you become. The one who sees too much stops being entertained by the world. They no longer chase trends, applause, or validation, because they see through them all. They see how easily people are controlled by the need to be seen, by the fear of rejection, by the illusion of status. They realize that society runs not on truth, but on manipulation. And they can navigate it better than anyone, but they can never again believe in it. This is why the most intelligent often appear distant or cold. They're not emotionless, they're simply aware. They've seen too much hypocrisy, too much self-deception, too many broken promises dressed in beautiful words. They don't speak often, because most words in this world are wasted. They don't argue, because truth is not what wins arguments. Emotion does. They don't try to convince, because they know people rarely want truth. They want comfort. And so they withdraw, not into weakness, but into mastery. Their intelligence becomes armor. Their silence a fortress. They learn to watch without reacting, to understand without exposing their thoughts. They begin to value solitude more than company, because in solitude they are free from pretense. The curse of seeing too much transforms the intelligent into the eternal outsider. They live among men, but not with them. They play the game of life, but never truly believe in its rules. And while others see them as distant or unfeeling, they carry the heaviest burden of all, the burden of clarity. Because once you begin to see people not as they appear, but as they are, you can never go back to seeing them as you wish they were. There is one skill that separates the powerful from the powerless. It is not wealth, not intelligence, not charm. It is emotional control, the ability to rule over yourself before you ever attempt to rule others. Most people believe emotion makes them human. I say it makes them predictable, and the predictable man is a puppet, his strings pulled by anyone who understands what triggers him. Anger, envy, fear, pride. These are the levers that move the masses. But the one who masters his emotions controls not only himself, but everyone still enslaved by theirs. Observe the world around you. Most men react before they think. They are quick to defend their pride, quick to argue, quick to prove themselves right. They mistake reaction for strength. Yet, nothing reveals weakness faster than emotional outburst. The louder a man shouts, the more fragile he is inside. The calmer a man stays, the more power he holds. The art of emotional control begins when you stop letting the world dictate your internal state. You must become unmoved by praise, untouched by insult, unshaken by loss. When people cannot predict how you will react, you become dangerous, because their power over you disappears. They throw insults, no reaction. They test your patience, no reaction. They withdraw love or approval, still no reaction. At that moment they realize they cannot control you. And once a man is beyond emotional control, he becomes nearly untouchable. Understand this, emotions are not your enemy. They are your soldiers. Anger can give you energy. Fear can give you awareness. Desire can give you motivation, but only if you command them. If they command you, you are already defeated. The Machiavellian mind does not kill emotion, it disciplines it. It trains it like a weapon kept sharp but never uncontrolled. When you learn emotional control, you begin to see what others cannot. You can stand in chaos and remain calm. You can listen to lies without reacting. You can feel the pull of temptation and still not move. To the untrained, this looks inhuman. To the wise, it is power perfected. Because the one who can remain still in the storm commands the storm. Watch how easily people expose themselves through emotion. An insult reveals insecurity. A jealous glance reveals fear of inferiority. A nervous laugh exposes deceit. Every reaction gives information, and information is currency. Those who react least give away least. The emotionally controlled mind observes everything, reveals nothing. You must understand that in the game of power, perception is reality. If people think you are calm, they assume you are in control. They begin to defer to you without realizing why. They start to second, guess their own certainty. Your composure disturbs them, because silence makes them face their own noise. That is why the calm person always appears stronger, even when they say nothing. To master emotional control, you must begin with awareness. Before you can command emotion, you must first recognize it the moment it arises. Anger is fast, it moves before thought. Learn to catch it. Fear is subtle, it whispers rather than shouts. Learn to hear it. Pride is seductive, it feels righteous even when it is foolish. Learn to resist it. Once you can name what you feel, you can delay your reaction. And delay is power. Every second you pause, you steal control back from emotion and hand it to reason. Many think control means coldness. It does not. It means precision. You still feel, but you choose when to show it. You may smile when you are furious, stay silent when you are provoked. appear uncertain when you are plotting. That is the art. Never let your enemy see the map of your emotions, because once they can read it, they can predict your every move. The world belongs to those who can control their faces. A single twitch can expose your fear. A glance can reveal your desire. A trembling voice can destroy your authority. That is why the powerful train not only their minds but their expressions. They learn to remain neutral even in crisis. Their face becomes a mask, impenetrable, unreadable, invincible. Control is not suppression. Suppression is weakness pretending to be strength. True control is mastery. It means you feel every emotion fully, yet you decide when and how it serves you. You can use anger to fuel strategy, not revenge. You can use fear to sharpen focus, not flee. You can use sadness to build depth, not despair. The man who feels nothing is not strong. He is hollow. But the man who feels everything and still chooses his response is truly powerful. Imagine a battlefield where everyone is shouting, panicking, losing order. In the center stands one figure, calm, deliberate, unshaken. That man will win, not because he is stronger, but because his mind is not enslaved. That is emotional control. It turns chaos into clarity, noise into opportunity. Once you master this art, people will start to behave differently around you. They will test you less because they see it does not work. They will respect you more, even if they don't understand why. They will feel your silence as authority, your patience as dominance, your restraint as strength. And when you finally choose to speak or act, your impact will be multiplied. Because control makes every gesture deliberate, every word carry weight. Most people want to be understood. The powerful prefer to be unreadable. The weak reveal everything. They explain themselves, justify themselves, apologize for themselves. The strong remain quiet, letting others drown in their own noise. That is emotional control in its purest form. The ability to make silence louder than words and calmness more intimidating than anger. In every human interaction, the one who remains emotionally centered holds the higher ground. The one who keeps composure when others lose it dictates the outcome. To control your emotions is to control perception, and to control perception is to control reality. Reality is not what you think it is. It is not fixed, not stable, not even real in the way most people believe. Reality is perception, and perception can be shaped. The one who understands this rule does not just live in the world. He creates it. And that, my friend, is the true power of intelligence to manipulate how others see, think, and react without them ever realizing it. Most people spend their lives fighting facts, arguing truth, trying to prove they are right. But the Machiavellian mind knows that truth is irrelevant if no one believes it. The world does not follow truth. It follows perception. If people perceive you as strong, you are strong. If they perceive you as wise, you are wise. It doesn't matter what you are beneath the surface. It matters what you can make others see. This is how kings rise from nothing, how liars become legends, how fools are worshipped as geniuses. They understand that appearances rule the human mind far more than reality ever could. People do not want truth. They want a version of it that flatters their emotions. The intelligent exploit this weakness, not with malice, but with mastery. To manipulate reality, you must first study how people see. Every person views the world through their emotions, their desires, their fears. They don't see you as you are. They see you as a reflection of their own mind. If you learn how they think, you can control what they see. This is why the scariest minds do not argue. They influence. They plant ideas quietly, allowing others to believe they arrived at the conclusion themselves. Control of perception begins with control of image. Every word you say, every gesture you make, every silence you allow, it all constructs how others perceive you. If you seem confident, they assume you are competent. If you act calm under pressure, they think you are powerful. If you say little, they imagine you are wise. The Machiavellian does not need to be these things. He only needs to appear as them, because once perception takes root, it becomes reality in the minds of others. Watch how easily people surrender to illusion. A man in a fine robe is treated with respect, while a wiser man in rags is ignored. A confident liar will win over a hesitant genius. People believe not what is true, but what feels true. Their emotions are the lens that shapes their vision, and that is the lever by which reality is moved. The manipulator of perception understands that truth has no power without belief, and belief is built not with facts, but with rhythm, repetition, and confidence. Say something often enough, with certainty, and it becomes accepted. Deny it often enough, with conviction, and even truth begins to look like a lie. The crowd is not swayed by reason, it is swayed by performance. This is why the powerful always appear larger than life. They craft myths around themselves, stories that echo power and inevitability. Their image becomes a weapon, their reputation a shield. Even when they are absent, their presence is felt. That is how perception outlives fact. Reality fades, but legend endures. You must also understand that manipulating perception is not always deception. It is direction. The world is chaotic, filled with uncertainty. People crave clarity. They seek leaders who can give it to them. By shaping perception, you give people the illusion of order, purpose, and meaning. And in exchange, they give you loyalty. That is the ancient trade, the exchange between the ruler and the ruled. Those who fail to understand perception will always be prisoners of it. They believe they are living in reality, when in truth, they are living in someone else's design. Every advertisement, every speech, every act of power you see is a carefully crafted illusion meant to guide your thoughts. The question is never, is this true? The real question is, who benefits if I believe this? Once you learn to see this, the world changes. You start noticing the layers of performance in every person you meet. The charm in a politician's smile, the sorrow in a merchant's tone, the flattery in a friend's compliment, all tools of perception. The Machiavellian mind recognizes that manipulation is not always evil. It is simply how influence works. Every kingdom, every relationship, every success story in history was built upon someone's mastery of how others see. To master this power, you must first master your own image. You cannot manipulate perception if you do not understand the one you project. Ask yourself, what do people see when they look at you? Do they see strength or insecurity, certainty or confusion? If you do not define your image, others will define it for you. And once they define it, you will be trapped inside it. Manipulating perception is not about constant lying. It is about selective truth. You show what serves your purpose. You conceal what does not. You reveal just enough to build curiosity, but never enough to be predictable. Mystery amplifies perception, because what people cannot see, they imagine. And imagination, once activated, is far more powerful than fact. Remember, the crowd is emotional, not logical. They don't care if something is accurate. They care if it feels right. A well-crafted illusion can guide millions, while an inconvenient truth can be ignored by all. The intelligent mind sees this and adapts. It does not fight against the current of human nature. It rides it. When you truly grasp the art of perception, you stop trying to convince people of your truth. Instead, you make them see their own reflection in your mirror. You feed their ego, their fears, their hopes, until they believe you are what they already wanted to find. And when that belief settles in, they will defend your illusion as if it were their own idea. This is why perception is the throne upon which all power sits. The one who shapes how others see, controls what they think. The one who controls what they think dictates what they do. And so, reality bends, not through force, but through suggestion. Every great mind that rises too high eventually discovers the same truth. Awareness is not a gift, it is a wound. The sharper your mind becomes, the more it cuts through illusion, and the more you begin to bleed from what you see. This is the price of ruthless awareness. The world applauds intelligence, but it fears clarity, because the moment you see everything as it truly is, you stop belonging to those who still dream. You begin to see patterns everywhere, in words, in gestures, in silences. You start to notice that people rarely mean what they say, and even more rarely say what they mean. You see that loyalty is not born from virtue, but from convenience. That morality bends depending on who benefits. And when you look around, you realize how much of human behavior is driven not by reason, but by weakness. You see through charm, through fear, through power, and you recognize them all as masks covering insecurity. The more you see, the colder the world becomes. You stop being surprised by betrayal, because you saw it forming long before it happened. You stop being shocked by lies, because you learned that truth is only spoken when it serves a purpose. You stop being hurt by rejection, because you understand that people love only as long as it is comfortable. But this understanding, this awareness, it does not bring peace. It brings isolation. You begin to live among people as an observer, not as one of them. Ruthless awareness separates you from the herd. You cannot join in their illusions because you have seen what they cannot bear to face. You cannot enjoy their games because you already know their outcome. You cannot take comfort in their words because you understand their motives. Every compliment, every act of generosity, every display of loyalty, you see the self-interest behind it. And though you understand it, you no longer feel warmth from it. You simply nod, knowing the truth. This is the quiet curse of perception. The more you understand, the less you can connect. The mind that sees too much cannot rest. It analyzes every glance, every word, every movement. It feels like it's lying in the room, even when no one speaks to them. And once you start reading people this way, you cannot stop. Their masks become transparent, their intentions visible, their hearts predictable. And with that, mystery dies, and along with it, much of what makes life beautiful to ordinary minds. You will find that few people can handle your awareness. They will say you are cold, distant, or arrogant. They will sense that you are not deceived by them, and this will make them uneasy. People do not like being seen too clearly. It feels like exposure, even if you say nothing. They prefer those who live in illusion with them, who feed their ego, who believe their lies. The aware mind cannot do that. It sees through the illusion too easily, and so it stands alone, respected perhaps, but rarely loved. With awareness comes a kind of quiet sadness. You start to realize that much of what people call goodness is just fear of consequence. That what they call loyalty is dependency. That love often hides the hunger to possess. You no longer hate humanity for this. You simply understand it. You stop expecting purity where there is none. But understanding replaces wonder, and wisdom replaces innocence. The child within you, the one that once believed in sincerity, slowly fades away. At first, this new way of seeing feels powerful. You feel above the masses, immune to deception, beyond manipulation. But with time, you begin to miss something you didn't know you would lose. The ability to be surprised, to trust, to feel simple joy. You start to envy those who still believe in the stories, even the false ones. Because belief, even false belief, brings comfort. Awareness brings clarity, but clarity is cold. It strips away illusion, and illusion is the warmth of life. You will learn that people fear you not for what you do, but for what you see. Your silence becomes threatening. Your gaze feels heavy, because people sense that you are not fooled, that you perceive what they try to hide. They will avoid your eyes, change their words, pretend comfort while feeling unease. You will watch them twist in the web of their own pretense, and though you understand them completely, you will find no satisfaction in it. Ruthless awareness teaches you restraint. You stop correcting others because you know they cannot see yet. You stop exposing liars because the world rewards them. You stop trying to wake people from illusion because illusion is their only refuge. And so, you let them dream. You walk among them quietly, carrying your understanding like a secret. You become the still one in the crowd, the one who sees the game but chooses not to play it openly. This awareness will make you powerful, yes, but it will also make you invisible. People will come to you for advice, for guidance, for strength, but rarely for companionship. They will admire your insight, but they will not understand your solitude. For they still live in a world of stories, while you live in a world of patterns. They seek comfort, while you seek truth, and truth offers no comfort. It offers only clarity. The price of ruthless awareness is detachment. You stop expecting the world to be fair. You stop expecting people to be consistent. You stop expecting virtue to be rewarded or honesty to be respected. You understand that life is not built on justice. It is built on power, perception, and survival. And though you see it clearly, the clarity brings no joy, only certainty. Those who reach this level of awareness begin to live differently. They plan without emotion. They listen more than they speak. They calculate rather than hope. They no longer need validation because they understand how easily it can be given and taken away. They move like chess players among checkers, careful, deliberate, always 2 steps ahead, but in the quiet of their mind, they carry the weight of knowing too much. For every illusion they destroy, a piece of their comfort disappears with it. Now you understand what few ever will. Intelligence, true intelligence, the kind that terrifies others, is not about knowledge. It is about perception. It is the power to see without illusion, to act without emotion, and to shape the world not as it is, but as it appears. The curse of seeing too much, the art of controlling your emotions, the ability to manipulate perception, and the burden of ruthless awareness. These are not lessons of comfort. They are the price of power. The higher your mind ascends, the colder the air becomes. You lose the warmth of ignorance, but gain the weapon of clarity. Most men chase success, yet remain blind to the forces that shape it. You, however, have seen behind the curtain. You understand that people are ruled not by reason, but by desire. That truth does not lead the world. Perception does. That the mind which observes without reacting, which commands emotion rather than obeys it, becomes unstoppable. But remember this, once you awaken to this level of awareness, you can never return to the simplicity you once knew. You will speak less, watch more, and move through life with quiet precision. The crowd will never understand you, and perhaps they never should. To think like Machiavelli is to walk the fine line between wisdom and danger. You are no longer a participant in the game. You are the one who understands its design. The scariest level of intelligence is not loud, not boastful, not desperate to prove itself. It is silent, calm, and calculating. It watches everything, needs nothing, and commands all. And when you finally reach that level, you will realize that the greatest minds do not seek power. They embody it.